Just how doomed is this new format? Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oscar. I didn't mean to be so doom and gloom here. We actually had some interesting data coming across the NAWCQ for round 9 that caught my attention that I wanted to talk about today, because this is going to paint a picture for you as to, I think, what Konami is going to approach in the upcoming ban list analyzations and, you know, the rest of kind of how this format is kind of shaping up. You know, we're still got the WCQs. They're still going right now. So getting a mid-tournament picture, you know, going into day 2 is pretty interesting. Now, as you can see, Cool Toon is a massive, massive, massive monster here. And I believe this was 14 Cool Toon decks out of this representation, which is pretty large, honestly. I'm honestly surprised that there was this amount, but I mean, like, this just proves consistency, the way that the deck goes into this meta. It's very, very incredibly powerful just for what it's able to do. Now, Ritual of Light and Darkness down here really starts to shave off, because now you're dealing with 6 of these. You know, this deck was the big, bad, aggressive deck. You know, we saw the Azamina variants, and I've already heard reports of people, you know, talking about the Protect Code Talker, the Firewall, the Zena Twins, and the very unfun interactions that, you know, the Charm Quartets brings to that with the Floodgates. I think that will be something that Konami itself will address. But a deck like Ritual of Light and Darkness being able to do that is kind of crazy. Now, Elven Knight you see here with a 10% little part of this chart, which is also interesting to think about here. Elven Knight only had 4 representation down here. Now, looking, if you were to jump over to like some of the other WCQs, especially Oceania, Elven Knight was a very, very popular deck that was just kind of destroying that event in really weird numbers. So to see that, you know, this deck is maybe not quite doing so well here is very interesting, or at least the decks are not consistent enough. Now, let's talk about the rest of this. So we do get 2 Radiant Typhoon Sky Strikers and 2 Sky Striker variants. I did see Ryan Yu's name was mentioned. He is a very, very, very good Sky Striker expert. I do fully expect to see, you know, some results probably from them with Sky Striker, because they are absolutely a monster with this. We do get to see Orcus Phantom Knights, Dogmatica Branded, RB K9 Cyber Dragon. That's a pile. Branded Draco Tail, Branded. So Branded's representation is kind of struggling back here too, which is interesting, because Branded, going into, or before this set, Branded was one of the best challengers that you could have to play into this meta. And suddenly we're seeing, you know, that disconnect coming into reality here, where maybe, I guess, people didn't want to play Branded as much, or they just didn't feel confident in the deck. But that's crazy to see, you know, from one set to the next, just Branded's drop off. We also had a Clown Crew deck, which is not surprising. I mean, like, that deck is very annoying. We also had Ryzel Blitzclick and a Blitzclick deck. So we have 2 Blitzclick challengers down here, which is really good. We also have Angelucky Elf Note, which technically gives us 5 Elf Note variants. Power Patron Archmage, Bestial Elf Note, and Mitsurugi. Now, they did give us a little excerpt down here. Cool Toon continues to dominate the field, taking up 30% of the top tables. However, the Ritual of Light and Darkness and Elf Note decks both continue to have a strong presence, as well. Plenty of other decks have proven to be viable as well, including Blitzclick, Mitsurugi, Clown Crew, and Sky Striker. Keep an eye on coverage for the weekend to see how these break down for the top of the event. So, what I guess, why does this matter? So, we are in the heat right now. You don't understand. Like, I sniffle, but like, it's actually just me, you know, smelling the ban list somewhere around the corner. The reality of the situation is, given all of this data here, all right, given everything, they are going to 100% look at Cool Toon, and they are going to go, bye-bye, boo! And this is where the topic of rotary and all that comes into play. But also, look at the presence of canine, though. You know, you have one representative canine deck. Because taking Noroi out of the format meant that, you know, the splash and the protection of the, you know, the anti-hand trap cards wouldn't exist. So, you know, we still compare the two, but I mean, like, the hand knowledge in Canine versus the hand knowledge that Cool Tune generates, they are completely two different things. You know, Canine could effectively shape up and annoy you a little bit, but Cool Tune goes, all right, I have the hand knowledge, now I can stack your draw and take away a potential combo piece that you can't really interact with, because 1+1 equals get the hell out of my game and concede, please. All right, that is exactly that level of interaction. So I think what we are going to see happen here, due to this high level of aggressive turnover, you are going to see this number, you know, probably get cratered by seeing Rotary probably getting punched. Now, there's also, we're not going to forget about this Ritual of Light and Darkness thing here. I do want to point out that other regions are already starting to experiment around with the hybrid pile decks. These are the 60 card piles that you can take these different engines and plug them into the Ritual of Light and Darkness Dragon deck, or the Ritual of Light and Darkness deck. I don't know why I said dragon. And that's going to be, especially when regional season resumes back into August here, if you don't think that players are going to give, you know, Light and Darkness Ritual a, you know, makeover of testing out, you know, the Mitsu piles, especially coming off of Oceania here, where we saw a Mitsu 60 card pile plugging into the Light and Darkness Ritual deck. It's also very, very critically important to know that this pile, at least later on in the deck's life, will become a massive pile deck enabler. And honestly, I'm kind of here for it. Now, also for Elf Note, for developments here, Angelecki is probably the most exciting thing that we've got going for this. But as you can see, judging by the sheer amount of top competitive players here, very few people felt confident enough to bring the Angelecki version of the deck to the table. Does that mean that, you know, Angelecki is bad? No. It just means that, you know, probably on the lower scale system of the format, I think we got to be patient and, you know, wait and see, you know, when we get the second wave, if it really impacts Angelecki and, you know, tries to fix up some of those potential problems with it. I also wanted to point out back here, also with the Blitzclick piles, I think Blitzclick definitely has some potential right now. Honestly, I would have said Sacred Beast had potential too, but where the Sacred Beast players at, though? They not here. No Sacred Beast is in the top 20 tables right now, so that's kind of impressively bad, and also, you know, not good news. But I think once regionals come back here, you know, we'll see more of those rogue decks kind of coming back into the spotlight and actually doing well. But your main takeaway here is both of these variations are doing decent right now. They are actually kind of taking the home, and also, you know, like the Rizal stuff kind of gives you an end board to work on. Meanwhile, you know, pure Blitzclick goes, haha, beat my Thunder King Ryo. Oh, you can't? GG, thanks for playing, easy. You don't really get that. You know, that's why each build has like their own unique sense of things. It's also kind of interesting to take a note on, but okay, also Sky Striker. It's going second deck, man. We honestly, you can sit here and you can cry about Sky Striker existing in the format, but the reality of the situation is it's really good at cracking boards. Obviously, into Cool Tune has also got a pretty decent matchup. So, you know, we'll wait and see where this goes. But yeah, that's my food for thought on this right now. I'm not particularly crazy about this format, I'll be honest with you, but looking at your representation and numbers here, the one-ofs are doing wonderful. I just think, you know, if we get into Top Cut and this number is glorifiably big, we're going to have some problems, you know, but that's just me. So leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later on in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.